We're very worried about the implications, what would happen if we were to leave the EU, and I think really the last thing anybody wants is their food prices to go up, and that's even more an issue. If you're a household on quite a low income, then the food costs are a big part of your weekly bills. So going out of the EU, especially when so many of our goods come from the EU, it would increase people's food prices. So we're really focusing on that today. I mean, we all know there would be a squeeze on jobs if we left the EU, and we're focusing on prices today as well, and yeah, that's what we're doing. Well, it stands to reason when so much of our trade on food is with Europe that actually if we are at risk of having tariffs between us and Europe, then the prices will go up. So that stands to reason. I mean, it's a no-brainer, it's evident. What they've done, the Treasury, is they've done various calculations looking about the impact on the pound, and therefore our imports would be more expensive. And again, you know, it is blindingly obvious that if we leave the EU, and that'll cause a big economic shock, it will hit the value of the pound, and then our imports will cost more. I mean, it's a no-brainer. They've done all the calculations with all the Treasury model, and they've said by 2020 something like £220 a year extra on the food bills. But whether it's 240 or 210, it is obvious that food bills would go up if we lost the EU, if we left the EU, and that would be a very big problem at a time when there's going to be a squeeze on jobs if we leave the EU. Well, because actually, ironically, the European Union, although it's as male-dominated as our parliaments have been, and, you know, for many people it's just faceless bureaucrats, the reality is the EU has been a very good, strong friend for women at work. So it's given part-time workers' rights, it's given extra rights to equal pay. Now, it would be nice if our own governments would always be backing up women at work, but, you know, actually the EU has sent directives to the UK government saying you will let part-timers join the pension scheme, you must let men have time off work when they have a child, you must actually provide maternity pay. Now, you know, a lot of people would think, well, it would be nicer if that came from our own government, but in the meantime it has, you know, part of the Treaty of Rome, which is the treaty that everybody has to sign when they go into Europe, says you must treat women equally. That's part of the treaty, and that has helped us over the years.